You stayed up late last night because you had a lot of work to do, so you hit the snooze button and it's really late and you got to get up and you got to take a shower and you got to go to work. Pour a bowl of cereal. Hurry, let's go. Cereal? Hang on. Let's take a look at that. What's going on out there, guys? This is Shana Ross with Shana Ross Fitness in Houston, Texas, and welcome to my Fast Fit Tips. Today is about breakfast cereals. If you're getting up first thing in the morning and pouring that nice bowl of whole wheat, whole grain goodness and then pouring some milk on top of that and maybe putting a spoonful or two of sugar, because a spoonful, well, never mind. We could do that for a long time. Hang on, you better think about that. I want to take you through just a few labels here and show you what you're doing first thing in the morning and how to combat that. All right, so let's take a look. These are nationally known brands. Again, I'm not going to tell you, don't buy these. I'm just going to give you some education and then you make your decision. All right, so I know you can't read these very well. Just stick with me and we'll get through this. The first ingredient on almost all of these is going to be some sort of whole grain. It's either, let's see, whole grain oats. There's one here that says whole grain wheat. The one I'm holding says rice, flour, and whole grain wheat. Those are whole grain products, all right? So the labels on the front say they're whole grains. They're telling you the truth. This is where cereals can really start causing you trouble. When you get down into the label and you start seeing things like high fructose corn syrup, that is a big one. We see it right here. And this is the product that tells you that you can drop a jean size in 2 weeks if you follow their eating plan. That's simply calorie deprivation. It doesn't have anything to do with the wholesome goodness inside this product because there isn't very much. Here's what I want to tell you that is the most important thing you need to know about cereals. If you're trying to lose weight, you have to control insulin spikes. What spikes insulin? High blood sugar, or in other words, too much glucose circulating in your bloodstream. Glucose comes from the breakdown of carbohydrates. So anytime you eat a high carb source, you're going to get an insulin spike. So let's take a look at this label. All right, if you go by calories, if you go by fat, which is what so many people go by, it's low calorie, it's low fat, it's got to be good for me. That's only a tiny fraction of what you need to look at. Let's look at the carbohydrate content. All right, so on a label, when you come down, the carbohydrates are close to the bottom of the label. This is total carbohydrate, 27 grams, of which dietary fiber makes up 3 of those grams. Sugar makes up 9 of those grams. Now, a cup of milk, which is usually about what you'll put over cereal, or actually a little more usually, because a cup really won't cover the cereal up. But a cup of milk from the naturally occurring lactose in the milk has 12 additional grams of sugar. So if you add 12 and 9, we're at 21 grams. How much sugar is that really? Because we don't do grams. Here's the tip you need to remember. When you see the number of grams of sugar, you divide that by 4. That tells you how many teaspoons of sugar are going to be in that item. So 21 divided by 4, that's over 5 teaspoons of sugar that you're putting into your body first thing in the morning if you choose to eat this breakfast cereal. Now that contrasts to a couple of grams of protein. The offset of protein to carbs is not enough to keep you from spiking your blood sugar. Whenever you spike blood sugar, you go into fat storage mode. So, bowl of cereal, little milk, maybe even put some fruit on it, that's adding more sugar. Maybe even have a piece of toast, that's adding more sugar because even whole grains break down into glucose. Sugar spike, fat storage, that's where your body's headed first thing in the morning. And it gets even worse. Well, let's look at this one. Total carbohydrates, 40 grams, 40 grams, of which 17 of those 40 grams are sugar. Now, add your milk again, another 12 grams, 29 grams of sugar. Do your math. Huge insulin spike for something that is purported to be absolutely total nutrition for you throughout the day. Big sugar spike. Popular kids cereal and for heart health. That's what the advertising tells you. So of course, you gotta have it, right? It might even lower your cholesterol. Let me tell you, anything that's going to give you a carbohydrate spike, 22 grams compared to only 3 grams of protein. Let's see, sugar, 9 grams, add 12 more for the milk. Again, it's just a sugar spike. Carbohydrates do that. You've got to keep your insulin level. And if you do that, then you're on the way to becoming healthier. You're on the way to managing weight. And if you need to lose weight, you're on your way to getting rid of some of that body fat. All right, that's it for breakfast cereals. I have a lot of videos on here that give you other options, other quick options for breakfast, and I urge you to go and look at those videos. If you like this video, I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my channel or hop on over to ShanaRossFitness.com and subscribe there. Thanks a bunch. I'll be back with some more tips.